where heads of state, sports, entertainment, and political celebrities meet. You're listening to Armstrong-Williams.
Frank Triantos.
Hey, so a couple good things here. Achille pointed out that this isn't a north-south issue because that's usually where it goes, with the oppression in the country. And then Karen pointed out that we have successful African-American folks right here on this show that you guys were raised here. You weren't raised somewhere else and moved here. You're not a first-generation immigrant. And I'm the entrepreneur here. That's why I'm on the show usually, right? I want to point out to the listeners that they can do it too. That we need to take America back, and really that's what this is about, is stepping up and doing something with your life here in America. It's not the social norm to be a loser. You have opportunities, and maybe Karen, you're perfect for this. Can you point out what are some opportunities they could look for? How can they take advantage of what's already here? They don't have to move here to take advantage of this.
Well, it's funny we're having this discussion. I wrote a whole book about, this whole notion, and, I get sometimes accused of being too conservative, and I don't get caught up in partisan politics. I think that America's the greatest country in the world, and if you don't believe me, move someplace else and check it for yourself. That said, she has a lot of flaws, and we need to, just like anyone else, when you go look in the mirror, fix what's messed up. Put some makeup on, wash your face, get the crust out of your eyes, and really start to look at your life individually. We talked about this last week. So I'm not in disagreement with that there are a lot of people who need to get up off of their behinds and get their education, read more books, pursue the things that they have in their heart to do. But what he's talking about undermines everything. What Mr. Pratt said undermines, and you need to understand this, Mr. Pratt, from my passionate way of speaking, that when you say things like that, you undermine the very thing that this country was built on.
But to quote another passionate American who wasn't considered angry but was considered a maverick, Sarah Palin, isn't that a little bit like putting lipstick on a pig?
Who said that? Who was that?
Achille.
Some guy that just came in off the street.
I mean, come on.
A surly looking guy.
Oh, man.
I wanted to introduce a little brevity there, but I'm just saying, you are a businesswoman, you are very successful, and it takes being passionate, it takes being strong-willed, it takes being conservative, and that's not a political party thing.
I'm going to tell you a secret. I am where I am because I know who I am, and I know where I come from. And I don't want
But let me tell you this. I am where I am because I'm willing to learn something new about myself every day.
And that's another good hallmark, and to not think that you're right about everything.
Yeah.
That's another thing. But what I'm saying is I'm here because somebody twirled in the fields and somebody didn't ride a bus and somebody did ride a bus and somebody drank from a colors only water fountain. I'm here as a result of my father living 8 in 2 rooms and working his way at age 10 on the back of a watermelon truck and then in a chicken store in Newark to go to college. I'm here, and I don't discount that. That's part of my DNA. So for someone to say, we're angry or surly, and then to point to these folks that have come over across the seas as if they have, somehow eaten manna and realize, oh, America's so great. How come you black people don't understand that? Is infuriating on some level.
We're going to go back to the phone lines. We're going to go back to the phone lines. Callers, we're going to get to you. Mike in Washington, D.C., thank you for your patience. You're on the air.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I work in mediation, and I've been listening to the conversation.
Oh, good.
One of the things that I tell groups when we start mediation is you don't have opinions, you have marriages. You're married to your opinions. And it's not a bad marriage. In your opinion, it's the best marriage in the world. And it's like asking somebody to walk away from a great marriage. Now, the funny thing is, we know not all marriages, what I mean by that is opinions, are created equal. Oftentimes, from the outside looking in, you can see a marriage is terrible, but the person in it thinks it's awesome. And when I hear the frustration in each other's, in y'all's voices, what I hear is, look, I know this opinion is wrong. Why don't you just see that yourself? But you only get to the final destination of understanding through patience and love. And like it says in the book of Jude, be prepared to pull people out of the fire. And I've never pulled somebody out of the fire where I didn't get burned myself doing it.
Wow.
So just
that's an excellent point.
Keep that in mind.
I like you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. I like y'all, too. That's why I listen.
On that point, piggybacking
Thank
on
you,
that
Mike
point,
in D.C.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Larry, I love you. And I feel that I feel like no matter how young or how old or what circumstances or what background somebody comes from, they always have the capability to see things through a different lens. Let me ask you this. Do you think it's a little bit, what's the word? Do you think it's just a little bit too, for you to suppose that somebody of a different color, skin color, or cultural background, or education, what have you, is acting a certain way or will act a certain way because of their color? And you admitted earlier that you come from a cultural background that has not necessarily been the underdog or disenfranchised in this society, according to skin color. Now, I don't know what your particular background is in terms of your family situation or what have you. I mean, you could have very well come from a situation where your parents had to go through something similar as what Karen's
No. His dad was a civil engineer.
Oh, okay.
He's good.
Okay.
You're close. He was an electrical engineer.
Okay.
Okay.
That's even better. Okay.
So that comes from, there's more than one generation of privilege, and couldn't you admit that there's a certain privilege that comes with being white, and particularly a white male?
Oh, we've already
in
discussed
America?
this earlier. Of course. My father was
So
solidly
how do you think that you
middle
could
class.
determine why do you think you could determine how somebody else should act according to their skin color? I mean, if you didn't come from whatever type of experience that you suppose they came from according to their skin color, why do you suppose that you should think how they should act or how they're going to act or why they're acting a certain way? I mean, I think that's just
My parents, as best I could ever see, were guided by their both of them had to struggle through the Depression. It was a life-defining experience. And their parents before them, particularly on my mother's side, really had to struggle. And that was what they communicated to me. They never, through action or word, indicated that our color had anything to do with where they were in life. But everything that they had was the result of their having a fairly hard scrabble existence in their early days.
right.
I got to tell you something.
Hold on one second. If they had a hard scrabble existence through the Depression as white people, imagine what kind of existence black people had with no.
I'm sure. I'm
no,
sure.
but I'm saying the ability to be able to have empathy or sympathy, because you can't have empathy because you're not going to walk a mile in my shoes, but to have sympathy for a group in this society, and then not, because it seems like, a certain wing in this society always wants to put, these markers on people, as if, everyone's starting from the same place. And everyone doesn't start from the same place.
All I want to say is
no, and they never will, but at least we can do what we can to make sure that we don't put artificial impediments in front of them.
We're going to go back to the phone lines, but I want to say this. It really troubles me when Achille says because somebody's skin color makes them privileged. I will never believe that. I will never believe it about white people. It makes it seem as a form of idolatry. It makes it seem as it's something that we should be all of. People's privilege is determined by the choices in their lives and where their faith lies. We've seen through. Let me finish.
What about Trayvon Martin?
Let me just finish.
It's Trayvon Martin's birthday today,
we have seen through time and time again.
He didn't get attacked
that
because
people,
of his. He got attacked because of his skin
no
color.
matter what their circumstances are, have found through faith, hard work, discipline, and a little luck that they don't come. I will never concede to white people, any other people, that they are privileged because of the color of their skin. You're privileged by how you serve and by the choices you make. I will never concede that.
But what about when you're suspected because of the color of your
Alabama.
skin?
Hello, Derek in Alabama. Go ahead. Thank you, Derek. Derek in Georgia. Hello, Derek.
How you doing today?
Just fine.
I don't agree with you what you just said there. I don't agree with you. The white man always have had the upper hand on us black people. You know that, and they still do today. You can go into a bank or anything a white man can come in there and get stuff did faster than you can get did.
That is not true in my life. That is not true. Maybe in your life, you speak for your life. You speak for your life. You cannot speak for mine.
You know that.
No, I don't. No, you know that. I don't know that. That's not my experience.
Well, it's my experience.
Well, then that's your experience. That's fine.
Our race, really, to be honest, our race is our own problem, because the simple fact is, you got, we don't stick together like we should be doing, And
Look,
a lot of this stuff won't be did.
I'm gonna stand by people that share my values, my faith, and where I think this country should be, and that has nothing to do with race.
And where it's going,
okay?
too, because
and where it's going.
This is a different conversation than yesterday.
I don't have to come down. I don't have to come. I don't have to come down from South because I left from the South. I was born in the South. Derek, thank you for calling. You have nothing on me when it comes to the South. I'm a Southerner. I'm a son of the South. Okay. Listen, but this stuff you're talking about, some white privilege and supremacy you're talking, nonsense. That's your experience in the bank, not mine. We're gonna get one last caller here. Damon in Virginia. I'm sorry, Damon.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, man, you can't change this guy's mind. He was born in 1943. Blacks were still getting lynched. Blacks still couldn't own property. And the reason why his views are a problem is because people like him are making the decisions about what's shown on TV. They're making the decisions about who's going to be the next CEO of the company. They're making the decisions about what laws are going to get passed. People like his age, John McCain, McConnell, all these guys, they all have that same view in the back of their mind because of when they grew up. Blacks wasn't nothing when they grew up.
Blacks were always something, brother. No, they were always something, and they're proving it today. Thank you, Damon. No, they were always something. Man does not have the final script and the final narrative on our destiny and what we become. No.
Well,
we're out of time.
A white man didn't have to kowtow and smile
Larry,
and tell a
Karen,
joke to a black man.
Thanks so much for
Frank,
putting the
I
together.
am free, and my freedom comes from God, not from man.
Amen
Good
to
night,
that,
everybody,
brother.
and take care. Thank you for joining us. I am
All
free.
right. My
Shake
pleasure.
the
Happy
shackles.
birthday.
You're free. Thank you.
Good night.
Shake
Thank you,
yourself. You're
Larry.
free. Huh. Okay, that's a wrap. Hey, thank you for that birthday greetings.